Hello, hello, hello. This is Linda G. Robert. You're back in the groove again, coach, helping you live your best life right now so you can love what you do. I want to provide an update on my moving situation. But first, I want to thank everyone who's been adding comments. Now, you may know that I've been sharing some of my insights about many different topics over the last year and a half, 2 years. I think the most popular series is the Love in Our 60s. I've had a lot of comments and a lot of proposals for marriage. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that. And it's been a lot of fun. Developing that series has been a lot of fun. And I'm sure that there'll be more of those videos to come in the near future. And of course, lately I've been working on the series on my move. Because the reality is that I am moving. My house is sold, and in less than a month from now, I will be gone from this house. My life as I know it now will be completely changed, in fact, very different because, I've been living in the same house now for 10 years. And so I've gotten used to my routine. And when I made the decision to move, I didn't realize how, on the one hand, exciting it could be because, of course, this is exciting for me. I'll be able to, be closer to my kids, but at the same time, I'll be able to travel more. So it's exciting, but it's also scary. And I've shared some of that. It's also scary. I know I've had to go through a lot of different types of emotions. I've had to go through, of course, my content. I'm still going through it. That's not over yet. I've been to my hometown on the weekend. Actually, I came back on Saturday night with a load of things. So I'm starting to do that. And the closer I get to the date of, how can I say this? The date of the ending of one stage and the beginning of another. The closer I get to that, the more I'm kind of going, oh God, a little bit of nerves here. I talk about change a lot when I do seminars. I talk a lot about change, and I talk about the model of change, which I really love. And basically, it has three different main stages, main phases, and that's the ending, and then the beginning, and then everything in between is the neutral zone. And that neutral zone can last a long time. And I'm in the neutral zone. I'm in the neutral zone because when I made the decision, which was about maybe 2 months ago now, I started the end of, I started that ending phase. And of course, the new beginning isn't for quite a few months. But soon I'll be at the end of one phase and starting another period, starting another transition. And I think when we go through huge changes, like what I'm going through now, there's a series of endings and beginnings, and every time there's an ending, there will be at some point a new beginning, but that period of transition, in my case, it's been very long. It's a long transition, and I'm going through all sorts of different emotions, from sadness to anger. But I'm not going to say that I'm really pissed off. I'm not pissed off, but I'm angry that I've chosen to start again. Parts of that is anger for starting again, and parts of it is. And I thinking in the future, thinking of several months from now where I will be having to start again. So, those mixed emotions are absolutely normal. And I'm normalizing it, not just for me, because, I know this is normal. I know what I'm going through is normal, but I want to normalize it for you, especially if you are going through a change. And when we go through a change, I think our attitude towards change is what really makes a difference. And, I have to tell you that I am experiencing my feelings. I'm sharing them, with my friends and family members. I'm processing them. But I know, and I know I'm not denying them. So I'm not in denial of what's happening. Oh, I want to say hi to whoever's viewing me now. If you want to add some comments, please add them in the chat box. It's always nice to know who's here, who's listening, who's watching. So you can add your comments in the chat box. So I'm moving along that process. It's like, oh my God. I have my moments. I want to say that on the one hand, people think that professionals like me, I'm a professional. I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, career coach, and I'm a teacher. I am a professional. But that doesn't mean that I don't go through these feelings and emotions. Yeah, of course, Richard. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, we all go through changes, whether we're professionals or not. This is a normal stage of life. No matter what that change is. Thanks for your comment, Richard. And no matter what it is, no matter who we are, at some moments in our life, we will go through that. No matter what, right? If we want to experience growth, if we want to experience something different, like in my case, I've been living away from my kids for many years now. I moved away from my hometown. And yes, on the one hand, I'm going to be moving closer to my kids, but I'm also going to be staying in Mexico for a few months, actually 5 months. And I want to be completely frank with you. One of the things that kind of scares me, and I know that I'm thinking a little bit too far ahead of time here. I'm thinking in April when I come back from Mexico, I'll have to find a place to stay. I'll have to find accommodations near where my children are. And I've looked at the prices of rent and I'm thinking, oh my God, do I want to pay what the rent is? It's so expensive. And, so I'm thinking of how can I do this? Oh, sure, I can get a roommate. Oh, do I really want to buy another house? I don't know about that. And what I'm thinking of is I could probably find a place temporarily where my kids are, and I could probably travel to, another country. That's what I'm kind of playing with now, that idea, to make it more manageable. So the point is that when we are going through changes, we need to be open. We need to be open to possibilities. And I think that, when we hit a certain age, we might have had enough experience to know what those possibilities are, but not everyone, right? A lot of people, even my age, have not challenged themselves to step out of that box, to step out of what that norm is. And so fear making any kind of changes, because it's much more comfortable, and I'll tell you that, it's much more comfortable with status quo. And so, when we are faced with a change, we think we need to repeat the same thing. For example, and I'm not choosing to do this, but it's part of what I'm thinking, maybe I could just buy another house because that's what I've been doing over the last 10 years, right? That would be an easier solution, probably more cost effective too. So there are some advantages. But is that the only way to go? And I'm not saying let's find some solutions now. What I'm saying is that when we go through change, we don't need to settle for status quo. We can allow ourselves to think outside of that box. Now, that box might not be too big for some of us. But we need to kind of stretch ourselves, right? Stretch ourselves out of our comfort zone. And I am going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing that. And not so much when I go to Mexico, because I've experienced that before, but now I'm going for longer, 5 months instead of 2 months. But when I come back, I'm going to tempt. If you buy a small house, what I thought of doing, Richard, is I did think, and of course I don't have to make the decision now. This is more for April 2022. I thought of getting a small house, yes, with a rental unit. With a rental unit. I thought of that too. And so there's a lot of different options, right? Because I'm mindful of the cost of living. And so I don't want to be, here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be spending all my savings on living accommodations, if you know what I mean, right? So these are all the things that, as we move on, in life, and as we make changes, we have to think of what's really important. What are we willing to do? What are we not willing to do? And I'm not sure I'm willing to spend a lot of money on housing, um, especially if I know that housing is more affordable in different countries and that I could possibly look at alternatives. Anyways, suffice to say that this is all part of change. It's all part of making some decisions that are going to cause some discomfort and maybe some uncomfortable, kind of scary things. But I'm going through the process, and I encourage you, whoever is also going to be watching the recording later on, to ask yourself that question: Am I preventing myself from enjoying the life that I truly deserve and that I want? Because if you are, and it's that fear that's holding you back, you're not living the life that you truly want to live, and you're holding yourself back. So in cases like that, I suggest you work with a coach. That's what I'm here for, right? I'm here to help you live your best life now so you can love what you do. So think about that, right? It's one thing to acknowledge we have fears, but when we continually allow those fears to take over the show, take over our lives, we're not doing us, and not just us and sometimes our family and our friends any justice, because I'll give you an example. My friends think I'm courageous. My friends think I'm courageous to do what I'm doing. And I have one friend in particular who says that to me every now and then. And it's not just with the move, but other things, like when I went ziplining or when I went to Mexico the first time. She says, "You're really courageous." And I'm thinking, really? I didn't think that was courageous. But you see what I mean here is that I'm doing things because I want to do them. I want to experience different things. For my friends, they see this as being courageous. And so sometimes when we do things because we want to experience those things, we inspire, we encourage others to do it, our kids or our friends or our family members. So, in a sense, and I don't usually use the word selfish, but in a sense, I'm going to use it now. I think it's selfish in a sense to not want to venture out and try new things. It's selfish because we're not helping ourselves, but we're also not helping other people as well in that sense. So I didn't want to talk a lot about that, but what I do want to share now, I'll tell you why I want to share these things. These two cards here. These two cards. I'm going to show you them in a second. This first one, and as I'm going through my things here, okay, as I'm going through my things, I'm having to think, do I keep, do I throw, do I get rid of, This one was written in September 2006 from a guy that I was seeing at the time. And I won't read everything that's written on the card, on the personal message, but I will read the message. I will read, the writing, because it's quite long, but I want to read it to you because it's inspiring. And I needed to listen to this message. So the cover, of course, says, "Stay strong and always remember what a special person you are." All right, so it goes to say, it says, I send you this card with a smile and a hug. Your wings may be a little damaged now, but you can still fly. You can still touch the sky. You can still make a rainbow. You're hurt, but you can still dream. You can still try. Through all of this, never forget what a special person you are. As you dodge these curveballs that are coming at you now, don't let anyone take away your hope, get you down, or make you give up. While you face these problems that touch the landmines in your soul, don't let them steal your power. Stay strong, encouraged, and hopeful. Know that you are special and you are loved and you will be fine. Refresh your spirit with the lessons you've learned. This is just a passage you're going through. You know your heart. You know who you are. There will be answers. Just be patient. Be satisfied with doing the best you can. When you're down, don't stay there. And never, never forget what a special person you are. So, what a card, what a card. And this was from a guy that I dated. His name was Rick back in 2006. Perfect, right? I really needed to see that card, and I'm going to keep it. I don't want to throw it out because although I hadn't seen that card in months, years, when I started going through my stuff, I thought, maybe that's what I need right now. Now, this other one here wasn't from anybody, but I saw it. Wait a second. No, it wasn't from anybody, but I saw it years ago. When was this card? I don't think it has a year. No, it doesn't have a year, but it was probably bought around the same time. So this one step at a time is the best way to go. That's why I titled my video for today, my live video for today. And it goes like this. This is written by Adrian Rogers. And it says, when going through life and traveling in the direction of your dreams, the best way to get ahead is the simplest way. Take it one step at a time. That's my nickname. Are you going? That's my nickname. Are you going to date again? Maybe, hopefully. Let me answer that question in just a second there. I just want to finish this. Don't look over your shoulder. If you do, you'll feel the weight of all your yesterdays upon you. And don't worry about what lies ahead. You see, that's what I'm worried. I'm worried about what is possibly lying ahead. By the time you get to the bend in the road or the crest of the hill, you're going to be better and stronger than you ever were before. Just go one step at a time, one day at a time, and you'll find a rich, thankful life and you never thought you could afford. So that's by Adrian Roger. And, I'm going to keep this card because I haven't read this in so long. Remember, it says, by the time you get to the bend in the road or the crest of the hill, you're going to be better and stronger. So, of course, my concern is April. Now, why am I thinking of April? Because parts of my life is figured out before April, right? I've got November 4th. House is closing. I know where I'm going to be from November 4th to November 15th. I've decided I'm going to be in an Airbnb. So I got some things figured out. But after April, it's like, oh my God, I don't know. It's so easy when you have a regular job. I used to work full time. Now I work from home. I'm not concerned about that. But it's easy when you know where your feet are landing. It's a lot easier. So food for thought. Keep it one day at a time. Now, just to go back to what Richard was saying, or Rick was saying, are you going to date again? Well, I hope so. Of course, this video isn't about dating. It's really about taking it a step at a time. But hey, one step at a time, and I think that includes for dating as well. I really, really do. And I'll speak a little bit personal now. You might have heard some of my videos about, okay, the title, and I'm going to be completely transparent here. The title used to be Sex in Our 60s. And that attracted a lot of viewers. And it also attracted comments and comments that I didn't want. Um, Comments leading to certain sites that I didn't want. My channel is educational in nature, inspiring in nature. So I certainly didn't want to create that Sex in Our 60s series to attract any attention to me. That's what it's done. So I've had to change the title because I really do think that, yes, sex is one part of our human life, but love, I really do think that um, love in our 60s or love as we get older is much more important. That's why I changed the title. So, I've been single for so long. I haven't dated in years. God, can I say 10 years? Like, it's been a long time. Yeah, almost 10 years, nine years. It's been a long time. Hard to believe, really. But we go through different stages that allows us to grow. And there were times in my life in the past that I wasn't, and if you've listened to my videos, you'll know that I wasn't um, living a healthy lifestyle, right? I wasn't living a healthy lifestyle. I've shared in previous videos. Yeah, well, I think that's it, right? It's important to enjoy life. It's important to be honest and to be open. Absolutely. I like that openness part because, I am an honest person, and I think the fact that I am honest with my friends and I'm honest with my family, and I'm open to my family and friends as well. I think what I want to remain is to be open to possibilities, right? Possibilities of love, possibilities of enjoying my life. I enjoy my life. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to continue to enjoy my life. But, there's always some aspects of our lives that are missing, that lack. And so, when you're talking about being open, I think that's one thing, and I'm just being transparent here. I think that's one thing that I wasn't always open to it, to meeting somebody and to even dating. But I have been more open in the last little while. But one thing is we can be open. I can say I'm open, and I am open to dating, but that doesn't mean that I'm actively seeking that. I think just like anything else that I've said in the past, that it's one thing to be open, but it's also another thing to put some action steps behind that open attitude. And, that might require a little bit more time and a little bit more effort and a little bit more energy, I think, and prioritizing, right? Because it's not a priority of mine. Although if I, met someone, I would definitely met someone, naturally, I definitely would be open to that. Anyways, it wasn't my intention to talk about um, relationships, but, I think it's part of life. It's part of enjoying our life fully. And what I'm doing now with changing and with moving is going towards things that I enjoy. And part of what I enjoy is meeting people, right? I enjoy meeting new people, and I'm open to meeting new people. I'd be open to meeting, a man who likes that sense of adventure, the traveling piece. I want to do more traveling. Anyways, I didn't want this to be about me. What my purpose is always to make you think, to make you reflect on what it is that you truly want, for yourself. And of course, to enjoy your life to the fullest, as best as you can, and to live like Rick or Richard was saying, to enjoy life while you can, And of course, be open and be honest and be receptive to whatever opportunities are coming our way. And to, I think here, to take it one step at a time, right? Not thinking too far ahead of time. And of course, I like this too, and to stay strong, and to stay strong, and to remember that we are special. We really, really are special. So thank you. I wasn't thinking I was going to be on here for that long, but I guess thank you, Richard, for adding your comments. I really appreciated that. I think it pushed the conversation a bit more. Thanks again for listening in. And again, if you are listening to the recording, please add your comments. For some strange reason, YouTube hasn't been sending me your comments. So I noticed that I've had some comments that have been waiting a week or two. I apologize for that. I did respond recently. I will, well, thanks, Richard. I appreciate that. Thanks. And again, thank you for being here, and thank you for watching my live. This is really live. And if you are watching the recording later on, please add your comments, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I promise I won't always talk about change and moving, but it's just kind of what I'm going through right now until, well, for a long time, because November 4th, I'm going to be going through another change. So stay tuned for that. Again, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon. I'll keep you posted.